Don't mind me. Let's see, what is going on here? Oh. Okay, that's what's going on. Sorry, I am... Cool. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I do, but I don't. But that's fine. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I know that looks weird. That's because that's in the way. So, all right. We're fucking ready now. Okay, so like the last couple, although I guess not the very last couple because the last one I think was normal, and this one, the one before that was not. It was holy shit super long because I kept jacking something up. This is not going to be a long project time. And that's just because there's not a whole lot of repeats. There's only 4 to do. And then there you go. So, but I did manage to make it here. So yay. We did that. My eyes are killing me. I have never had problems with my eyes as far as like them being dry or irritated, but I guess that's what's going on right now, and it is making having my eyes open really, really unpleasant. I don't know whether it's my allergies are just acting out in that way or what, but it's not great. So it's bad enough that I have basically tried to keep my eyes closed as much as possible this weekend. And it started like, I want to say last night, but it got really bad today. So this is section 17. And that we got 21 sections. That is the goal. And then what I'm going to do is, based on whatever I have left, I'm going to do like more repeats. And we'll just do them in sections. So anyway, this weekend was a lot. I actually had the weekend off because I had to mom. And so that happened. I had an impromptu meeting to go to on Saturday that I actually almost talked myself out of because I was just like, I don't know, I don't want to go. I can't, or I won't talk about it right now because you know, it's like it's not really that I'm superstitious, but I do try to keep I do try to maintain like a certain level of privacy. Not for any other reason than like, hey, what we don't need to be doing. So finally, okay. So let's try this again. Okay, so those are the ones I don't have. So, okay. I was checking, don't mind me, I was checking up on what videos I have to download and upload because I have had a lot of trouble this past month getting like stuff done. I was doing good and then I wasn't. And that's just ever the case. So yeah. So here we are. Yeah, if you saw my Instagram post, then you saw it. I talk about it. That I had some stuff is changing. Work. I can't. I don't want to get. I don't. It's not that I don't want to jinx it. It's not that. It's not that. It's just things aren't done until they're done, right? And which is really funny to me because the reality is things aren't done till they're done. But just because things aren't like set in stone doesn't mean that you can't like make note of like where you are, right? Like you can absolutely do that. Um, like I like to know where I stand with people, right? Which doesn't mean it's not going to change tomorrow or in 10 minutes, right? But like right, like when I'm asking, I mean like right now, right? So and that goes with everything. So anyway, we've talked about the garage, like that is going to be coming to an end by the end of the year. And that's kind of as much detail as I'm going to say about that. Just basically everything that's going on, all of the changes, all of the things happening that I really don't want to be part of and I have like an issue with. It's just kind of, it came to a head. So I have a coworker who's out because of COVID. And I'm not, I mean, it happens, right? It's a thing. They're vaccinated, you know, and they came into contact with somebody who had it and they have it now. So that means all week, all this past week, I've been the only one there. And it looks like all this week, I'm going to be the only one there. And, so, yeah. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot with the focus on just doing tires constantly, with it just being one person back there, with me not having any help come back there. It's been a lot, and I've gotten to the point where I'm fucking tired. I'm tired, and I'm over it, and I'm not here for that. I'm not trying to work myself to death for somebody. Like 100% no. And that's kind of what it's coming to. It also came to my attention that I could stay at this place for years and stay right where I'm at. Like, and the opportunities for advancement as far as specifically where I work go, like, and what my job title and what I do are really limited. Like I can get to a higher level, but there's definitely a ceiling. And that ceiling is not making, like, it's not going to support like the a life that I want to lead. And I'm not a bougie bitch. Friends is a bougie bitch. I'm pretty fucking simple. I just want to pay my bills. And what I'm doing right now is just not, it's not cutting it. Like, it's not cutting it. And now it's working me too hard. And things are being asked of me that are not realistic. And just, oh God, no. Just no. No. So what we're not going to do is deal with that. Like, I've become fed up. I already had told wife, I said, and I told Gumby, I was like, y'all are gonna lose your GS. You're gonna lose me because this is bullshit. Like, I am being worked to death and having to deal with bullshit. And trying to be sold and like fed something, and I was not born yesterday. I was not. So yeah. And I want to be able to have nice things. I want to be able to do things and not have to think about them and have to negotiate them and have to wonder if like something is possible or if I can, no. I don't want to have to wonder about like basic needs and stuff like that. Like I don't. And right now, that's a thing. And that's super stressful, by the way. I don't know if you know, but it's not great. Um to wonder if you're going to be able to like do things. And it's not great to wonder if something like if you can do something small, like if it's going to kind of like ruin things. It's not the kind of feeling I want to have. Like it really isn't. So we need to be taking steps, and I am. And the funny thing is, I had this meeting I got to attend over the weekend that I found out about Friday. I had no idea ahead of time that it was going to be a thing. And then I offhandedly heard about it, and I talked to a couple of friends of mine. I was like, this is where I'm at with this. I'm thinking about this. This it seems serendipitous, right? There's an opportunity that like absolutely just kind of popped up. And I don't love last minute things. But there's also something about this is falling in line enough where it was an opportunity I could take advantage of. Like I could actually act on it versus, oh well, maybe later. And when the hell's later gonna be? And then I found out a bunch of other stuff that like I can some doors opened. I don't know. I'm trying not to get too into it because again, nothing's done until it's done. And I do have some long-term goals like to work towards that are, in I had decided that whatever opportunity I'm taking right now, like this is not the end of the road. This is just literally the next step. And it's a step in we're taking a different path now. And the irony of this is I seem to have like found my way back in a direction that I was going years ago. And I left that direction because it became a dead end, based on where it was at. And what I needed to turn it from a dead end into a launch pad was not available to me. And this is absolutely going to be something that is available to me. Like that problem is solved. Like, so that matters. And so here we are. Like, I'm excited. I think I'm hopeful. I think there's some real promise and possibility for this direction. I absolutely so. I'm not confident. I'm not confident, right? Like I'm well aware of like my limitations and what I can do and what I can handle, right? Like I know that. Like some people have a real like skewed sense of like what they can do, what they can't do. No, I'm real sure, and it's not a matter of I just don't think I can do anything. No, I know what I can do, and I'm confident that depending on the circumstance, that I can figure some shit out, like if need be. Like I am absolutely sure about that. There's no doubt in my mind that I can make something work. Like 100%. And so, yeah. And it's funny. The funny thing is, friend is encouraging. Like she's very much encouraging this. And I told friend I was talking to her a little earlier, and I said, it's funny is I'm paying your encouragement forward because wife is not happy with where she's at. Um, she's not happy with where she's at. She wants, you know, she on one hand, she's like, I don't know what I want. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think what you've done is what's probably happened is you've made other things and other people a priority for enough of your life that you've not stopped and taken the time to really think about this. Which isn't to say that if you didn't take the time, you wouldn't have an answer, right? Like you could, this is like what you want and where you want to go. It's absolutely something you can figure out. And that's not something that you're like born knowing. Like you have to feel it out. Like, you know, everybody's got preferences. Everybody's got things that they are interested in, they're not interested in, you know, what have you. And, yeah. And that's not weird. That's totally normal. Like, this meeting was basically, I had a bunch of options presented to me. And when I showed up, they're like, okay, well, what are you interested in? And I'm like, I'm not like anything. Like, I'm good. Let's go. Like, I'll talk to everybody and see what's up. Because I can make most things work. I can find a way to make something work if that's what I need to do. Now, obviously, there have been times in my life, you know, as recently as like now, where I don't have it in me. And part of it is, you know, part of it's mental health. Part of it's, you know, having waves of depression that just fucking bowl me over. But the life circumstances of like living on the struggle bus, they complicate it. So like having depression and having anxiety and having trauma and whatnot, that is absolutely positively a factor. Yes, 100%. But dealing with that, and then on top of that, you know, not having resources, not having support, not having resources, not having support is one struggle. Having, you know, health and mental health issues is another struggle. Having both, oh God, like, wow. Like it exponentially like rises. And then, right, there's only so much somebody can take before it's just not reasonable. And I have gotten to the point where we're not trying to ride that wave. Like, I am in my 30s. I have done enough of that, and I do not need or want to do anymore, and I'm not going to. And so I'm going to do everything I can for that not to be a thing. And that doesn't mean that I'm afraid of a challenge. That doesn't mean I'm afraid of difficulties. There is just a limit to how much shit you're going to throw at me before I'm like, I'm going to throw it back. And I'm getting ready to throw it back. Now, I have no idea what my timeline for all of these shifts and changes is going to look like. Tentatively, one timeline is 6 years in the future, like that point, that milestone, if you will. Another one is like later, like the end of this year, like November, basically. And the 6 years from now is tentative, right? Because I'm absolutely 6 years is more than enough time for me to change my fucking mind. So that's the thing. And that's fine. Like, well, okay, I guess so. One point is November. Another point is 4 years from now. Another point is about 6 years from now. So technically it's 3 points. And like, there's all kinds of things that can happen in that time period. But the first step is an opportunity that opens up at the end of June. And I've got to take the steps and do what I can to make that a thing like now. Which is what I'm working towards. it's really just, it's also kind of fucking funny. It's kind of hilarious. It's kind of hilarious that I'm finding myself kind of in the same place that I started, which you could say I had the same thing happen with my art. Like, I started off saying, yeah, I'm going to make art and I want to do this. And then I walked away from it. And then I came right back. And I'm kind of doing that with this topic too. And it's kind of fucking hilarious. So, yeah. Well, I just totally spaced on the fact that I am like adding stitches. And so I need to write this down on here. Don't mind me. Okay, so this one, these cancel each other out. Okay, so we gotta do that weird freaking knit math. Which is not my favorite to do. Okay, so we got this many. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and 1. So that should be 142 times 2. So 2, 1. So this should be 3. And that should be 147. So that should be 284. Okay, we're probably gonna have to count these. So this should be 290. Is what it should come out to, I think. I'm not looking forward to counting out 290 stitches, by the way. I'm not. I'm fucking not. I don't want to. But what we can do is we can do this. We can, in fact, do this. I gotta remember where I put my stitch markers, though. Okay, so anyway, opportunity. It's knocking. Actually, it's more like it poked its head and it says, "Hey, I'm going to the store. Do you want anything?" And I'm like, "Well, since you're going to the store, why don't you pick me up some resources? That'd be great. That'd be great." Oh my gosh. So to the last stitch. Anyway. It's just funny. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of funny that this is what we're doing now. It's not, I don't know, I guess in the grand scheme of my life, apparently this is how I do things. So this shouldn't be a fucking shocker. I mean, y'all might be surprised, but I don't know why I am. Like, I have no reason to be surprised. So. I was talking to a friend. I was like, it's going to be so weird to not have to worry about shit at some point. Like, that's going to be weird. Because I have worried about stuff and fretted and, like, have to, you know, squeeze a dollar out of a penny for, like, so long that I don't know what I'm going to do when I don't have to fucking do that. Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, okay, so there's the November 4 years, and then the 6 years, which will be 2 years after the 4, right? The funny thing is technically between the right between the November and the 4 years is going to be another opportunity. So now that's 4 changes that are going to happen, and like, God, that's a lot of change, and I'm already like, oh my God. But it's all changed for the better, right? It's doors opening. So yeah, I mean, there's something for that. So anyway, I might be able to make that opportunity that comes after November, or right around November, happen much sooner. And that absolutely might happen. Like, that might be something that I do. It really kind of depends on what things look like. It depends on just, I don't know, where we're going with things. There's some things that I can do and invest in and stuff like that that'll you know, make it possible. And then there's some stuff where I could and I don't have to. And so it's really kind of I mean, if you want to do this, you can. I do want to be careful that whatever things I put time and energy into are going the right direction, because that's kind of why I shifted away from this to begin with, is that I wasn't going in the right direction, and the pathway that laid out before me wasn't one I wanted to take anyway. Like, so what was there was not in the cards. Well, rather, what I was intending on doing originally wasn't in the cards, and what could have done wasn't in the direction I wanted to go with. Which sounds super fucking cryptic. I know. It's fine. But, yeah, there's part of this opportunity involves me getting to go to school. And I'd already decided that I wanted to go to school and go to engineering school. And I absolutely could do that now. I can absolutely like make that happen. And so, yeah. So here we are. Here we are. It's so weird. Like, I've been thinking about stuff and like, how am I gonna make this happen? And I'm like, I have no idea. And like, I'm going to school for this, and I could also probably get some other schooling. There's a possibility I could get some other schooling I want to get. That's like tangentially related. And there's like a possibility that I could do that. And even if I can't do that, I could certainly probably learn some things and get some education and that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Um, so that's freaking cool. Um, I don't even know. Like, it's still all of this change and like all this coming about literally happened in the last like week and a half, 2 weeks max. Like, this is really fast, and I'm not. That's not really like I'm not a freaking just cast things to the wind kind of person. Like, if I make a change, if I make it, if I do something, um, it's thought out, right? It's planned. Um, I don't make big decisions like at a snap, at the drop of a hat. And it kind of feels like I'm doing this, but really, I've been considering this. I guess for the better part of the last year. So I guess for the last year and a half. Yeah, that's I guess for the last year and a half. So since like July of like 2020 or so, I this was a consideration of mine. Um, Actually, it might have been as early as March. Yeah, I think it was actually March. March of 2020 is kind of when I had considered some of this, and I said, no, 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 let's go. You've already stepped away from this. Let's go in this new direction. I was like, yeah, I did do that, and I did it for a reason, and I didn't forget the reason that I did it for. Like, really, I did not forget that reason. But some of some of the reasons I made that decision are different, and there's a bunch of other factors, really. Like, that's another thing. Like, you're not likely who you were, a year ago, much less 10 years ago when I made this fucking decision. So, actually it was more like 7 years ago, but yeah, like, a lot has changed, and you need to reassess. You know, it is totally important to reassess because you can make certain choices and certain decisions, and um because it made sense at the time, right? And then you can decide that something else makes sense later. Like, that's the thing. Nothing is set in stone until you literally fucking give up. Then at that point, I mean, yeah. Yeah. So the option is I can count these stitches out and see if it's 290. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be. Or I can just say fuck it. I kind of want to say fuck it, I'm gonna be honest with you. Also, I don't know where the stitch markers that I was using were to count this off like easily, and I don't want to look for them, to be honest with you, because I do have other stuff I have to do. So, like, I did say that this stream was probably going to be shorter. We might do a bonus stream later, depending on how I feel, because my eyes do still fucking hurt. Where I, we might do some late night gaming. That might happen. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, this is the last. By the way, this is the last row we're gonna do. So I'm gonna try and slow it down because this is where a lot of mistakes can get made, and we don't want mistakes. So. Like, I'm excited. Like I said, I don't want to say. I know. like I said, I don't want to say anything until it's done. Also, I have some people who absolutely do not have my best interest who might easily be watching me. And so I'm going to be really careful what I say until certain things are done and set in stone. And sure, you can always lose stuff. But yeah. You never know who's watching you. And that's kind of important. The funny thing is, I think I did great. Like going to the meeting was a good idea. I think I made a good impression with the people I ended up talking to. And what's really funny about that is I am not a good first impression. Okay. I typically am not I'm not rubbing people the right way when they meet me. They're like, oh. Now, once you get to know me, most people don't have a problem with me. But initially, oh yeah, I'm not well received. Either you really like me or you're like, ugh. And look, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. I don't fucking care. You do you, boo. Like, seriously. I just think it's funny that there's no middle ground. Which is just really funny. So I was talking to wife and telling her about like had to update her on like the meeting and everything and like how things went down and whatnot. And she's like, well, we're friendly. And I'm like, yeah. And how long did it take for that to happen? She's like, oh yeah, it took a while. I'm like, exactly. That's the thing. Some people are really open and are friendly like right off the bat. I am not that person. I case people in situations because I've been traumatized, and when you've been traumatized, you have to be careful who you trust and who you tell what. I'm really excited about this news. So I want to tell Bay, and I can't, because just us getting like an actual minute together is so fucking difficult, damn near impossible. But like I kind of want to just like excitedly tell them, hey, this is like happening. Yeah. It's funny. They offered to help me, and I was like, not saying no. Like, look, I'm not gonna tell somebody who's like offering to help me, like, just no, fuck off, right? I'm not. If you're offering me the kind of help I need and want, sure, yeah, no, cool, great. I mean, now just because you're offering me help doesn't mean it's like actually help. Which is a thing. There's a lot of people who are like, well, this is what I'm offering you. I'm like, well, that's not what I need, so you're not actually helping me. And people feel some kind of fucking way about that. But if what you need is money and somebody is offering you a handshake, that's not helping. Right? It's just not. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. So anyway, new and exciting things are happening. And these new and exciting things mean that I'm probably going to be able to finish some tattoo work I want done at some point in the future. Now that one, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to be Trixie. I am absolutely not going to not do things that I plan to do. But that one is going to make, it's going to be a little Trixie. And I accept that that's going to be Trixie. And I'm not going to let it be a fucking deterrent to do like what I want to do. So I'm not worried about it. But I had a thought about it later, like, which you can't share. But I'm gonna be very tattooed at some point in my life. Like when I'm done. Both sleeves, fucking fingers to my freaking up to my neck. And that's gonna be kind of hilarious because it's not gonna be expected. And I kind of like throwing people for a loop. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not upset about that. And I guess I'm like that in general. So whenever I meet and enter places, I'm usually not real vocal, right? I don't just like jump in. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not, outgoing at all. Like if you met with me on Saturday, and God, I hope nobody who met me on Saturday is here. That would be fucking awkward. That's not me. I am not outgoing. That's no. I'm much, much lower key in person than that. I'm very wry and dry and sardonic. Which is fine. But usually because of that, a lot of people who are not like that, they don't quite know how to take me because they're like, wait a minute, what? What? Like, wait, what? And yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be hilarious though. Because judging a book by its cover is you gotta flip through the index, right? You gotta flip through check out the title page, skim through the prologue, look at the epilogue. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot that you might be missing. So yeah. Oh my gosh. Now, I did have to have a little talk with friends. Because friends got some really specific aspirations. And my concern is if you're too specific about things, like you can bottleneck your progress. So like you need to give yourself a little bit of leeway to adjust and change course. And I think when people make plans and they don't work out and they fail and whatnot, that's really what's going on. You probably didn't have all the information together that you needed. You probably were skipping some steps or missing some information. You probably didn't reevaluate and you didn't adjust as needed. And so, like, there's a degree of rigidity, like, that is going to be a problem, right? And I feel like friend being the Capricorn they are, there's a really good chance that they can be too rigid in such a way that they make it impossible to meet their goals because their goals just weren't realistic and were never going to happen to begin with. Like, not like that. Like, they could happen, but under specific circumstances or under different ones. And so you have to have a little bit of you gotta have a little bit of fluidity. And like, look, friend's not really a planner, which is kind of funny because they just kind of, I guess, bulldoze through until they get what they want. And I think that there's some trials that can absolutely be circumvented if you don't do that. It's just like you can wait till the last minute and you can, power through a project, right? But you are also going to end up putting so much strain on yourself doing that you probably could have avoided. Now, look, some people, that's just, they work better that way. But the question is, do you really work better that way? Right? And some people, it's not necessarily that they work better that way. Like, they haven't tried to work any other way. And so it's just what they've always done is actually the answer. And some people have tried to do other things and they do find, oh, no, this works better for me. But it also is usually going to require other things that, have other things need to be met. Other situations, other whatever. So, like, there's that. Anyway, I know. We've been super cryptic this whole 45 minutes or so. We've got a little bit more done. It does not look like I did anything. I'm still going to take pictures of this tomorrow because I'm going to. So, yeah. But this is great. We're nearing, like, the freaking ends, so that's fantastic. I mean, we still got a good amount, so I'm probably going to get a little more, some more repeats out of this. And at that point, I don't know quite what I'm going to do as far as documentation, because it's all going to be extra and I have no idea when it's going to stop, right? And what it looks like is everything that's left is going to be yeah. Let's see. So anyway, here we are. Here we go. So yay. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for popping in and listening to me be super cryptic and not explain anything. And be fun and make it weird. I'm sorry I made it weird. I know. I made it weird. Not without reason though, like, really. So I don't feel like this is like still not long enough. Like, this is not long enough. I mean, I guess I can stretch it out. But this is not long enough. For me. I need it longer. So we still got like a bunch with 1, 2, 3, 4 more repeats are probably going to be about this much each. So boop, boop, boop. So yeah, we're going to definitely probably work through all of this. And after the initial repeats, what I might do is everything after, I might just work for an hour and say, okay, now this is just what an hour looks like, right? I might end up doing that. Just because basically it's going to be hard to say, oh, well, this is where we're supposed to be, right? So anyway, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye, Railings. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you hopefully bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and less cryptic and whatnot tomorrow. I'll see about, we might continue working on this until it's done. I don't know, though. I'm not sure. So, toodles.